Welcome back to another video, guys. We're Fandom Fix. I'm Jonathan. This is Austin. And today we're going to be talking about our predictions for the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. So we got a lot of speculation going on, Austin. There's a lot of stuff being rumored around. We want to know a few things. First of all, what is our prediction for the launch date, for the launch price, and then that launch lineup? What are the games going to be? So let's dive right into it. Let's start with what we think is going to be the launch date. Kick us off, Austin.
I think it's going to be sooner than we think. I think this is going to, this week the Direct comes out. We're in the middle of April, and then I think 2 months later we're going to get this Switch released. I think it's going to be beginning of summer. It would make sense. It would be in line with what Nintendo Switch 1 did. So I'm saying middle of June or end of June. But I think it's in that June timeframe because it would make sense for them to launch during summer when kids are at home, kids are, have more time to play. I don't think they're going to wait till the holiday time. Summer or holiday is the two choices here for the best profit, and I think the summer is going to be what it is. So I'm saying June. Final answer.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe bet, Austin. There's been lots of rumors and lots of speculation that could indicate that maybe June is the latest that it could be released. I think they're going to start us off with a time when the console is gonna be released, and I might even say that it might be May. Austin, okay. I think that they could slide it in the end of May, middle to end of May. I know there's been some speculation around the May 15th date because there's a Mario Kart Lego coming out and the San Francisco Nintendo store is coming up. But May 15th seems like a little too early, and maybe they don't want to launch at the same time as those things. But I think that a Memorial Day weekend, like that, the couple days before Memorial Day, that could be a really great launch date because that's when summer like officially kicks off for a lot of kids. It's a long weekend. But I agree with you. It's going to be sometime in the early summer, I think. Nintendo wants to capitalize on that whole summer and then kind of hit another big rush towards the end of the year. So I'd agree with you that like June is the latest we're going to get. But if I was cashing in my official vote, I'm going to say end of May.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? There's been so many rumors out there about like these systems have already been shipping to stores. I don't know if that's actually true, but obviously Nintendo's ready. I mean, the amount of leaks that came out before they even launched their first trailer for this system, clearly they have been prepping this. They've been trying to work under the radar, and this is going to be even bigger than the Switch 1 release, and I think it's going to be even harder to get this system. Pre-orders we're going to have to jump on these pre-orders. We're going to have to be at the store in line ready to get this because when I tried to get Switch 1 during COVID, it was hard to get. I mean, I remember texting you, like, where am I going to find this? And Target was able to, save one for me. It's going to be even worse for Switch 2. And especially with, we know we're getting backwards compatibility. We know we're getting probably better graphics. There's been these rumors that it's going to be enhanced, especially for games from Switch 1, that those will be enhanced to play on Switch 2. Plus the third-party games that are coming out. Like, I think they're trying to get this out as soon as possible because they know they're going to capitalize off of it. So I think really the biggest question is no matter when it comes out, what games are going to be with it? Because the system's going to be great, but it's got to have solid games to hit the ground running. We know Mario Kart 9 is going to be one of them. So Absolutely. What are the other games you think are coming out? Whether you know kind of what's going to hit the stores or just like crazy predictions of what you think are going to be in this.
Yeah. So you're right, and I think that Nintendo is prepared for this based off of the fact that the Switch 2 has taken so long to get here. And I think that everyone speculated the Switch 2 to come last year, and it was, internally delayed, even though we didn't know it was supposed to come out. And I think that was because of the launch lineup. I think that was because of the software. Nintendo knows that it has to launch with a lot of great software, a lot of great titles in order for it to sell well. And I think that that's like of the highest importance for them. So I think they're going to come out swinging. Like you said, I think that Mario Kart 9 X or whatever it's going to be called is a launch title. I think that's gonna move units. And we have Pokemon Legends ZA coming later this year. I don't think that'll be a launch title, but a couple months down the road. And then the Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, I think that's going to be a launch title. And I think that one may be both Switch 1 and Switch 2, whereas Mario Kart 9 will only be Switch 2, I think. Not for sure, but that's what my speculation would be. And then I think we're going to get a couple other announcements. I think they're going to announce a Mario sports game. My bet would be on Mario Baseball. We haven't gotten one of those since the Wii, and I think it's due for one. Nintendo also just announced a small partnership with the Seattle Mariners a couple days ago, where the Mariners will be rocking Nintendo logo on their jerseys all season. So it's a great time for a baseball game. And then I think Nintendo is going to drop us with some new IP that's going to show off something unique that the Switch 2 does. I don't know what it's going to be like, but maybe it'll have some sort of mouse functionality to it. It's going to have some sort of unique twist that's going to show us why the Switch 2 is so great.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought because you think about all the Nintendos that have come before. We had such a special thing with it with the motion aspect to it, and then GameCube. There were just the graphics were enhanced with GameCube, obviously coming from 64, but the launch game for that was Luigi's Mansion. And you think about Luigi's Mansion being so different compared to Mario games that came before because Luigi was taking the helm. I could definitely see them creating something that is a completely different spin on Mario, and that's the new 3D Mario game, or like you said, a new IP, somebody that's like something creative like Star Fox or Pikmin or like those type of things that were revolutionized, our imaginations.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm gonna go crazy, and I'm gonna say that Switch 2, we're finally gonna get a new. I don't know about launch, so I'm actually not going to say that for launch. But I think down the line this year, possibly, I think we're due for a 3D Donkey Kong. And I think with the launch of Donkey Kong Country Returns, that remaster, and the parks coming out at Epic Universe Universal, I think Donkey Kong is going to actually get more love, especially with him being in the movie and Super Mario Brothers Movie 2 coming out April of next year. I think Donkey Kong is prime for that 3D world. And so I think we're going to get that later down on the Switch. In terms of launch, I think 3D Mario is going to get announced with this April Direct. I mean, it's been, 7 years since Super Mario Odyssey came out?
Yeah, almost 8.
And so almost 8 years. So with that being said, I know everybody would love for there to be a sequel to Super Mario Odyssey. The only sequel we've ever gotten to a 3D Mario game was Galaxy. But I think it's going to be something brand new. But I think it's going to take those elements of kind of like that capture element with Cappy. I think it's going to take that from Odyssey and mix it in with Bowser's Fury with a more open world, like navigation standpoint. And you know how in Bowser's Fury we had, you could get in the water right on Plessy. There was just different like vehicle transportation aspects. I think it's going to go bigger than that. And I think we're going to get something that honestly was some same type of innovation as like Super Mario Sunshine, where you had that extra element to it, but it was in a place that wasn't familiar to Mushroom Kingdom or Mario. Yeah. And I think it's going to be co-op. I think we're finally going to get co-op with 3D Mario because Luigi is such a prominent mainstay now, especially with the movie making him bigger, or at least just like more of a spotlight than the back seat that he usually takes. I think we're going to get co-op there, and so I think that's what we're getting: Mario Kart 9 or X or whatever you want to call it, co-op open world 3D Mario within the coming months of that, and then I think we're going to get the ones we know about: Pokemon Legends ZA. Metroid, and then I think Donkey Kong later in the year. I think that's what we're going to, and we can make predictions about, things further down the line, but I think that's kind of what we're getting this first year.
Yeah. That's an interesting you say about Donkey Kong because I agree. It did seem like people were a little confused that Nintendo was pushing the Donkey Kong Country Returns HD remaster so hard. And people were not like super thrilled about that game simply because it's been out already on 2 different systems. But Nintendo was sure pushing it hard. And they didn't have a new game on the Switch, and people were like really confused by that. And so I think they've been working on something. There were some rumors a couple years back about them working on a 3D Donkey Kong that nobody ever heard about anything after that. So it would not surprise me at all if we get a 3D Donkey Kong year 1 or maybe even launch. I really wouldn't be surprised because, like you said, the movie, the park, and how much these like remakes they've been pushing. I think Donkey Kong is coming back at full force, and he's going to come out with a sweet game on Switch.
Yeah, you just think about some of the games they pushed out remastered this year. Obviously, The Country was one of them, but also that Mario versus Donkey Kong game. Donkey Kong has been pushed, especially with the movie too. But it's just been nothing fresh, nothing new. Wii U, I think, was the last one. Tropical Freeze was the last actual real new Donkey Kong game. And Donkey Kong is really the reason this whole thing started. I mean, that's where Mario started. So I don't know why they wouldn't push Mario and Donkey Kong.
I think that's inevitable. We're gonna get something new Donkey Kong for sure. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, well, there's one more thing to talk about, Austin. Let's talk about what the price is going to be. So we think it's going to be late May, June. It's going to have a myriad of cool launch titles. Now, what is the price going to be? Is it going to break the bank for some people? Is it going to be affordable? We can probably assume it's going to be slightly higher than the Switch, but hopefully not in that PS5, Xbox Series X range. What are your thoughts on price?
I can't imagine it's going to be any more than 450.
Okay.
I think a bundle could be 500 with Mario Kart, because that's how the
Yeah.
bundle was with Switch One. So I could see that. I mean, people will pay the 500 if the Switch 2 comes with a game or two. But I mean, Switch One was 400, right? 399.
No, the Switch One was 300.
It was 299. That's right.
It was 299. Yeah, Switch OLED came out at 350.
Okay, you're correct. So yeah, so I would say 400, 450. I would be maybe I think the 450 is going to be the bundle.
Yeah, 450 a bundle I think would be great. Putting the launch at putting the Switch at a 400 or maybe slightly under that, I think that would be fantastic. I think Nintendo knows that this is a pretty sensitive topic, and especially with just the way the economy is right now, everyone's like, "Hey, $500 is ridiculous!" And they wouldn't dare go over that. So I think they know they can't touch 500, and so 450 is a possibility. 400, I think, is the most likely in my opinion. But even slightly under 400, I think, is also a possibility. Like Nintendo could swing it. But I like your idea of the 450 with a game. I think that could be a sweet spot for getting people to buy the console.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, Nintendo's a family console. It's not major. I mean, yeah, major gamers play Nintendo, but most of the time, families buy Nintendo. And I think with that, and it's just the cost effectiveness, they're already going to buy a game. They're not going to just buy a Switch. So,
Sure.
it makes sense to bundle that, and families are going to be like, oh yeah, and something like Mario Kart to throw in there, it makes total sense because that's a game that has longevity. That they know their kids can play it. They know that they can play with their kids. It's a no brainer. So I'm going to say that.
Yeah, I think that makes good sense. Guys, we don't have to wait much longer. The Switch 2 Direct is coming very soon. We're excited about it. We're excited to hear what you guys have to say. Let us know in the comments what you guys thoughts are on what's going to happen Wednesday. Is it going to be a blowout? Are they going to show us everything? Is it going to be May or June release? How much is it going to cost? What are the games they're going to show? We're very excited. Please let us know in the comments what you guys think, what your biggest predictions are, what your boldest predictions are. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, thanks for coming here to get your fandom fix. See ya.